One of the things that MindPrint does is it kind of provides an overview of like the student's skills, right? Like what they excel in, how they excel in things. So what are we supposed to do with that information once that information comes out of the MindPrint test?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's one thing to know who the student is, what the strengths are, and what the weaker skills and the skills that need to be supported are, and that is helpful. But what I hear from parents all the time is now what? Like, what am I supposed to do with that information? And unless you're dealing with professional educators, you need to attach that to a series of strategies to help kids play to their strengths and help them, support and offset the weaker skills. And the ultimate goal here is to create a self-directed learner, a kid who can do this on their own as the student moves from middle school to high school and from high school to college. And that's ultimately part of why you're hiring a very experienced and a very knowledgeable tutor is to help them do that, help them take on a new understanding of themselves and develop a new skill set so that they can maximize their potential.
Well, thanks for answering that, Neil. And, I'd like to speak, from our perspective, when we're trying to match a student with a tutor. In fact, just today I got a great review from a family that just really appreciated the fact that I saved her a whole lot of time trying. She said, "You were like a broker to me, right? You matched me with the right, my kid with the right tutor, And I said, "That's awesome." Well, this information, like what we're talking about here, is real important for us because we take that information, we don't just give it to any tutor, right? Mm-hmm. We want to match that student with the tutor who can take those strengths and those skills and strategies and apply them to that student specifically because they have a particular strength in being able to work with that type of a student, And so this is just one of the tools that we'll use in being able to bring those two together, that student who has a particular set of needs and that tutor who has a particular set of talents. We put them together and it's a happy marriage.
I love that. And I love that you guys are doing that. And it makes me think of sometimes the inverse of that. What happens if you don't have the insight into who the student is? And what happens if you have a tutor who can't adjust to the needs of the student? And if you don't have the insights, the only way to learn is through trial and error. And that is expensive, that is hard, that is no fun, and you often lose the student in the process. And if you don't have a tutor who can adjust to the student in front of them, who's just following a standard playbook, you might as well be working off a CD-ROM. I don't know if that dates me, but right, like that's the whole point of one-on-one is to adjust to the kid in front of you and have the skills and the insights to be able to do that.
Right. And that really speaks to another, factor in the delivery of our services too, is that I tell families, hey, if we're providing the right talent to meet the specific needs, we're going to be able to accomplish more in less time and have a better experience doing it. So, well, at the end of the day, you're going to be spending less overall in reaching the goals than you would, spending hiring a cheap tutor, right? Get a smart one who knows their stuff, can do it quicker, better, faster, and more fun.
Right.
Yeah, it's somewhat a question of probability. You could hire the college kid down the street, and you might get lucky. That student might be highly intuitive, and might mesh well with your kid, but you are picking at random. Mm-hmm. If you go to someone who knows their tutor core, has a trained tutor core, and has the information, the probability of success goes up dramatically because someone is managing that very topic of who's the right tutor, how do I get the right information in their hands, and how do I match them for the right kid?
In the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
Contact Tutor Dr. Albuquerque at 505-545-8500 or go to tutordoctor.com/Albuquerque.